If you met Eliyahu Hanavi, Elijah the prophet, what would you ask him? The Talmud tells us that Rabbi Yeshua had this very opportunity. When will Moshiach come, he asked. Why don't you ask him yourself, replied Eliyahu. Well, where can I find him, Rabbi Yeshua cantered. At the gates of Rome. And how will I be able to tell who he is, pressed Rabbi Yeshua. Simple, explained Eliyahu. At the gates of the city, the sick congregate throughout the day, and they take off their bandages. One of them will not take off all of his bandages at one time, but rather piece by piece. That is how you will find Moshiach. Interestingly, the Talmud actually identifies Moshiach as the leper of the house of Rebbe. Why would Moshiach be associated with tsaras, the biblical skin malady? You see, tsaras is a unique biblical malady that is not around anymore. The commentaries explain that tsaras was only around during the times of the temple when the people had a heightened spiritual sensitivity. When everything else is healthy, one focuses on the blemish of the skin. Symbolically, the tsaras was afflicting someone who had mastered all other areas of self-improvement. This is also why Miriam is noted as having been afflicted with tsaras. She was wholly righteous other than her mistake of lashon hara. Put differently, you can only notice a stain on an already clean garment. This is the connection between Mashiach and tsaras. Mashiach arrives when we perfect the world around us, when we increase the spiritual sensitivity and appreciate the divine design in our lives. At this stage, the only thing left to remove is skin deep. The tsaras tells us that we are in the final stages before the redemption. Immediately before discussing tsaras, the Torah tells us about the ritual process associated with childbirth. The commentaries explain Mashiach is likened to childbirth. For 9 months, a child matures and gestates in the womb, slowly developing the tools to become an independent entity. This is the process of exile, where we toil and work to discover God around us. But the final stage before childbirth requires labor pains. In the final moments of birth, the birth pains seem overwhelming, but the mother knows that the pain will all become worthwhile with the blessing of new life. This is what Mashiach energy is, recognizing that energy of renewal, rebirth, and fresh life that is born through effort and pain. When Rabbi Yeshua later met Eliyahu, he was asked about his encounter with Mashiach. "He's a fraud," cried Rabbi Yeshua. "He told me he was coming today, but he has still not arrived." Hayom im bekolo tushma'u. Today, if we listen to his voice. Indeed, Mashiach is ready to come today, explained Eliyahu Hanavi. We only need to be ready for his arrival. Mashiach energy means seeing every day as the final day. It means living with an elevated reality, pointing to the divine around us and recognizing God's presence in each and every detail of our lives. In other words, we are not waiting for Mashiach as much as Mashiach is waiting for us. A rabbi was visiting with the Rebbe just after the 6-Day War, and the conversation turned to the situation in Israel. In my view, said the Rebbe, the overtly miraculous nature of this war indicates that these are extraordinary times. If only these events would inspire more Jews to return to their roots, it can bring about Mashiach's arrival. But there's another way for Mashiach to come, the Rabbi countered. The Talmud states that Mashiach will come as a result of a generation being either completely righteous or completely unrighteous. The Rebbe retorted passionately, "There's no way that I will allow the latter to happen. Mashiach believes in us. The question is, do we believe in him?"